In the late 1950s, Marvin Redmounts was the extension director that had the vision of establishing a tropical fruit tree arboretum. He approached the county and did not receive a go-ahead or permission, but nonetheless, a group of tropical fruit trees matured beautifully at the front of our property.
So his contribution was very significant, and many of the tropical fruit trees that are still on this property are those that he planted.
When an extension director came on board, Clayton Hutchison, he had a vision of turning this place into a horticultural learning center. And that was really the beginning of Mount's Botanical Garden. We serve over 75,000 visitors each year. Broward County, just south of us, doesn't have a botanical garden. And we serve a great deal of South Martin County as well. And we're the only botanical garden in Palm Beach County. Our newest garden is called the Garden of Well-Being, and we did a renovation on our existing herb garden. We have a butterfly garden that is unequaled, and I dare to say that because I come from areas that have beautiful butterfly gardens. Many of them are in greenhouses. Our butterfly garden is completely outside.
If you want to ask me what my favorite part of the garden is, it's the vegetable garden. It's got the most beautiful tomatoes, the most beautiful cabbages. They look like they're all on steroids.
I love the way this garden is laid out. It's just a very relaxed arrangement. You can't lose yourself in it, but you come across different areas. That's what I like about it. It's not specifically planned. It's not too perfect.
I think one of the things that I find very special about this garden is that it's so accessible.
Twice a year we have the best plant sales practically in southern Florida. And we have them in April and we have them again in November. And we also have something called the Fall Family Festival where we get over 2,000 children, and we have pumpkin painting, pony rides, tree climbing, and we get a complete diverse group of people.
By many surveys, there's an estimated 52% of our citizens that garden as a pastime. And these people have a need for good gardening information.
Most botanical gardens have collections. In this garden, it has all the things that grow, right plant, right place, together. So if you're a newcomer to Florida, of which I would say 90% of the people here are newcomers, you could go to the garden and see what you can plant together.
The unique part is this is what I tend to call the living classroom. If you see a plant here, you can go into the office and almost always find out how to grow it, how to propagate it, prune it.
The garden's a wonderful place to expand your knowledge about plants. For a true horticulturalist, there are educational opportunities to really expand that knowledge and get in depth and in detail, and also see great examples of unique species that you may not normally see. But at the same time, the garden also has a wide variety of opportunities for education and learning for folks who aren't experts, who just want to know about how to have a nice backyard.
We're extremely fortunate to have over 15 plant societies that meet here. We couldn't do this garden without them. They're the experts.
I initially became involved with the garden after going through the Master Gardener class, which is an incredible 16-week program. So I volunteer in two main ways at the garden. One is actually getting my hands dirty, getting into the dirt. The garden is maintained by a very, very small paid horticultural staff. The vast majority of what makes the garden so beautiful is volunteer hours. And also when we have special events here at the garden, I love to man the gate and sell memberships. Tell people in the community about how great the garden is and how they can support it by becoming a member. For me, it's a real privilege to have a place like the garden, to be able to come, to volunteer my time, to help create something beautiful for the entire community.
Yeah, I retired from the post office 4.5 years ago, and I just started coming here and working with the Guild, which is a group of about 12 volunteers. The butterfly garden is my passion. I just fell in love with it. Everyone has a passion. You have to have a reason to volunteer here, and there is something for everyone to do. I learn something new every day.
About 30 years that I've been volunteering here, both at the garden and for the plant societies, which all are under the garden's umbrella. There's a community of friends, friends of the garden and friends of each other. I think most of my close friends now I've met over the years through this garden, because that is certainly one thing that very dissimilar people can have in common. It just became a home for me.